Hello and welcome back to OConnor Racing. It's kind of an odd bird. I don't really get these very often, but we're gonna video. I think it's kind of neat and try and keep these videos interesting for you. What we're gonna do is we're gonna drill 45 holes in this rotor. I've got 3 of these I have to do. It's per customer request. A nice guy from overseas, United Kingdom, I believe. What we did is we're gonna take we took our rotary table and set this up on a trammed Bridgeport, and the next step was to find center by moving the table, find center of the rotary table. We went ahead and did that. We parallel shimmed the bottom of this rotor, and we whipped this up in our lathe to make a clamp system, and it's pretty simple. It's just a bolt that goes through it. Once we had the rotary table centered, we just put an indicator on the rotor and basically just put a little tension on the nut, knocked it around with a rubber mallet until we have this thing running perfect with our rotary table. Put a little indicator on this, just a line. The mark on this is actually over to the left. It's a little hard to see. So once I get rolling on this, I just put a line. This is what I'm going to use to get my degrees. We're drilling a series of 9 holes, 3 holes, and then we're going to move off a little bit. I'm going to drill a series of 2 holes, and then 3 and 2 and so on around the whole rotor. It works out at the series of 9 holes. It's pretty simple math. You just divide 360 degrees by the 9, and you come up with 40 degrees. So I'm not going to change the tooling on this. I do have a Bergmaster that would make pretty easy work of this, but I'm just not going to set it up on that today. So what I've done is I've calculated the width here, and I'm going to space these holes out evenly. So now that the rotor is all indicated and set, I'm going to move the table this way to my position here, and then I'm actually going to dial off 40 degrees and make a little indication. And that's just to check my work. I'm confident everything's alright, but I just want to have some bluing on this thing when I start to cut and just make sure everything's going to come out the way that we want. I'm going to go around and drill a series of center holes. Then I'm going to load the drill and copy my measurements from the rotary table and just go through and start blowing a bunch of holes in it. I have my rotor all laid out and checked everything. The math is all good. I'm using a 5/16 center drill. I'm running at 1,115 RPMs, and for coolant I'm going to use Cool Mist. Stuff works pretty good. It doesn't make too much of a mess, but I think I definitely know I don't want to get this thing hot. So that's just going to run a mixture of air and Cool Mist cutting fluid and keep everything nice and cool. So the first thing I'm going to do is drill this series of 9 holes around the outside. Then I'm going to load a 1/4 inch drill and blow some holes in it. Got my 9 holes center drilled, and I actually slowed the speed down on this. I'm going to run this 1/4 inch drill at 660. I finished drilling my first series of 9 holes, so what I did is I moved the table of the Bridgeport in 463 thousandths, which is it's just segmented the rotor, and that's the dimension it comes out to with 3 holes. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing, center drill 9 more holes, and then throw a drill in it, and then go to my 3rd series of holes. So we finished putting in our 3-hole series. The next thing I'm going to do is going to rotate the table 20 degrees. As you recall, this is 40. So I'm going to split that to 20. And then I'm going to pick up this side of the rotor, and I'm going to move in 617 thousandths. Now in this segment, I'm only going to drill 2 holes between these, and then just follow the same procedure we've been following right along, and I'll be done with this rotor for the most part on the Bridgeport. My last series of holes. We went ahead and finished drilling all of our holes. If you're doing this yourself, you should have something that looks pretty much like this. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take it off the rotary table, and I'm going to look at the other side and get rid of those burrs. I went ahead and removed all the burrs on the back side, and I just did it with a chamfering tool. And the last step, I just mounted this rotor in the lathe, and he's going to be putting new pads on it. I like to use these little 3M discs, put a piece of the green paper on it. And all I do is get this thing moving. Just take the grinder. You're probably not going to be able to hear me talk, but don't go like this. Get it this way. Come across it really light. It's kind of like honing a cylinder. Those marks aren't going to stay there forever, but that'll help him get his pads broken in and ensure there's not going to be any kind of squealing in the brakes or anything like that. This is a pretty easy project. I got 2 more of these I'm going to do on my own. And thanks for watching. It's definitely, if you got the equipment, really easy project. Just pay attention to your angles, and you need a rotary table. Don't try to do this by hand. You can't do it with a drill. You're going to need some kind of, you can use a drill press, you can use a Bridgeport, any kind of milling machine and a rotary table. You should have some pretty good success. But thanks for watching. KenO'ConnorRacing.com.